standing on the summit of Mount Greylock, the highest point in the state of Massachusetts. Right back here, you can see the tower up on the summit. I am down a little from that tower for these views that I'm about to show you. It is pretty epic. First time above 3,000 feet in about 600 or 700 miles. Absolutely beautiful. And Mount Greylock, the highest point in the state of Massachusetts, is in the bag. Descending Greylock, and this is the view to the north. I'm assuming I'm going to be going through all of that, or part of it. Probably looking into Vermont right there. Absolutely gorgeous. Some more gorgeous views looking into the north and the valleys and the mountains that I'm coming up on. Absolutely gorgeous. This side might be easier. You got dirt on one side, then you got these little steps on the other. I don't know why I was walking on the dirt side. The dirt, the stone. Stone and dirt. Nice little views coming down there, those mountains in the distance for sure. It's about 1 o'clock and 15 miles in for the day. About a mile or less to the next summit. And of course the name just slipped my mind. I'm thinking Mount Williams, but I don't really know. I'll have to check when I get there to make sure I'm putting the right one in the bag. Probably gonna eat some food up there. I'm getting pretty hungry. But like I've told you before, I give myself little incentives, so you're allowed to eat when you get to the summit, Fortune. Then a couple big milestones after that. It's a big day, big miles, big milestones, big accomplishments. Moving forward at a good clip. It's a beautiful day. Almost don't want to stop today. Nice and cool. It's not cool, but cool enough. It's not hot and muggy and swampy like it has been a lot in the last week or so. So loving it today. That sun's coming in and out. The dark clouds are really giving the great views of the mountains in the distance on some of the views today. So gonna keep on going to the next summit. Get some grub in me. Keep on going to the next milestone and accomplishment and keep on conquering. Yeah. Standing on the summit of Mount Williams, the final summit of Massachusetts on the Appalachian Trail. All socked in with trees, except for a little bit of a view over here, which is pretty cool, even though you can't see a whole lot, but that is Vermont right there. I don't know which one is Mount Snow, but one of those is Mount Snow in Vermont. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day outside. Wasn't much of a climb at all, as it's about 500 less than Mount Greylock. So it was a lot of descent before going up a couple hundred feet. But nonetheless, Mount Williams is in the bag, standing on the summit of Mount Prospect. Yeah, I was wrong. This is actually the last summit of Massachusetts for me here today on the Appalachian Trail. Absolutely killer views, looking off into this direction. Look at that. Everything else socked in with trees. This is the town of Williamstown down there. And this is all the New York side, where Massachusetts pushes up against New York. The Adirondacks going to be back in that direction. And I think over here is Vermont, where the three states come together. Absolutely beautiful. And Mount Prospect is in the bag. In the middle of a descension down Prospect Mountain, or Mount Prospect. I'm pretty sure I'm descending about 2,000 feet. It's been fairly nice though. Nothing too steep, gradual, just all kinds of switchbacks. Very good on the knees, but it just takes forever to get down it. I can cruise at pretty good speeds, jogged a little bit on some of it. But I'm pretty sure as soon as I cross this road that goes into Williamstown here, Route 2, I'm pretty sure I'm going straight up 2,000 feet. Maybe not right away, but over the next few miles, which will take me to a milestone, which will take me to the border, and will take me to where I'm going to camp tonight, which I still don't know where I'm going to camp tonight. I don't know if I'm going on the other side of the border, or if I'm going in 5 or 6 miles before I set up camp. If I go right inside the border, I'll be right about 24, 25 miles today. If I go further than that, I might go 29 or 30 before setting up camp. Just really depends how I feel, what the terrain is like, and what that first spot looks like. Excuse me. Beautiful forest though, and the trail's looking nice. The birds are singing, serenading me on this descension, and I'm feeling great. Woo-hoo! Conquering, almost done with Massachusetts, and another milestone as well. I guess I walked through Williamstown a little bit here. I'm not sure if this is Williamstown or if this is another little town next to it, but I stay on this road and then cross Route 2 before climbing again in the forest. Those mountains right there is Vermont. Oh, yeah. The marker is down there on this same creek, but down there was a train going by, so I came down here to hear the waterfall crashing instead. 1,600 miles of my Appalachian Trail through hike is in the bag. These gnats are insane right now. I had to put my sunglasses on to keep them out of my eyeballs. Keep trying to nosedive. And the other day, I had 4 go in one eye, and it seemed like it had been years since I had one land in my eye. My reflexes are usually pretty good at blinking to stop them, but that day they were not. It was a rough day. It was also that day that I had my gut flare-ups from my ongoing illness in my gut. So it probably was affecting, usually that affects my joints and headaches and stiffness and everything else. So it probably affects my coordination and reflexes as well, because they were nosediving. It took a while to get them out, those 4 that went in there. So today I'm being smart, putting my sunglasses on, even though I can barely see because it's starting to get darker and they're all fogged up and scratched up. Yes, I need to get the new Fortune sunglasses because these have run their course. Still climbing. At last count, I had like 1 mile and 1,000 feet to go. Probably down to a quarter or half a mile now. And then there's supposed to be this really cool thing up there with some rocks. So looking forward to seeing that. And then we'll be crossing over into a new state. I can't wait. If you can find it in your heart, I ask you today, please help Massachusetts. There's rocks everywhere, but there's no blazes. There was one way down there. There's one way up there in a tree that's hidden by a bunch of other trees. But it's just a big free-for-all here on these rocks, and you don't really know where the trail goes. And I'm telling you right now, it's not the first time it's happened. So if you could, please help Massachusetts. Help them buy some paint for blazes. They are obviously broke and can't afford paint on the trees and on the rocks to show people where to go in a big boulder mess. Please help today. Just climbed from way down there in that mess up here, and finally it resembles somewhat of a trail. No thank you to the blazes. Definitely a bit rocky right here, but at least you can tell you're on a trail. I don't know what that mess was down there. Nice. So the rocks that went up a wall and then over the wall with that view, I guess that was the cool rocks. Just about a 10th mile back from now, there was something called a rock garden, but it was a little bit on the side trail. I thought it was actually on the AT. I looked over at it like, that does not look that interesting. It's just a bunch of small rocks. Took a walk over. Nothing but rocks. And if I don't have to walk over the rocks, if it's not taking me over a summit, I don't see the need. So I didn't go walk on the rock garden. But I think we've all seen enough rocks to know what a rock garden looks like. I guess there's just a bunch of rocks with some cairns, so you know which direction to go on that side trail. And that's about it. So, continuing on the AT with these rocks, going towards the Vermont and Massachusetts border in about a mile. I'm excited. Woohoo! And then there were 3, 11 states down, and 3 left to go. And Mass has officially been kicked. Massachusetts is in the bag.